Hey, good morning, everybody. So today we're pouring a concrete floor over another concrete floor. Now, there was already a garage floor poured here before, but the grades, whoever set the grades, whoever the site contractor was, set the grades way too low for the garage floor. If you look at the driveway, look at the road, the driveway, everything slopes right into the garage. So what happened was the garage floor was just getting flooded all the time. So they hired us to come in, pour 8 inches over the top of this garage floor, which is fine. It's no big deal. I mean, having concrete as a base is probably even better than having gravel as a base. There was nothing wrong with the concrete floor here previously. So we actually rose the grade up 9 inches in the back, 7 in the front, so it slopes 2 inches out. They'll regrade the tar, so everything should be good after this. Alright guys, so I've done probably 100 of these garage floors like this where we pour concrete over concrete, and it's been for many different reasons. This is one of them where people have done in the past. They've just got the grade too low in the garage based on the landscaping, and you know, their garages just flood. Here in Maine we get 4 months of winter, so I mean, you don't want freezing rain and stuff coming into your garage as you're driving in and just settling in your garage. Some other reasons are because, you know, the garage floor was just improperly poured and it's made slope to a back corner, or they've got a floor drain in there, and the floor drain, you know, the garage floor is 30 years old, the floor drain doesn't work anymore, and they just want to raise the garage floor 2 or 3 inches and slope it out the doors. I mean, I've done this concrete over concrete for many different reasons. Now, when I show up to a job to look at like this, and people want to pour right over their garage floors or whatever, and I see the existing concrete floor is really cracked up or really settled, then I'll suggest that they just tear it out, you know, jackhammer it out. Let's take a look at what's underneath it. Why did it crack so bad? Why did it settle so bad in the first place? And let's fix that problem first, because just pouring 2, 3, 4 inches of concrete over the really bad concrete floor doesn't always fix it. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean just because it's been that way for 30 years and it's not going to settle anymore, that if you dump, you know, 8, 9, 10 yards of concrete on top of that bad looking concrete, that's going to fix the solution. It could just re-crack right in the same spots. So when they're really bad, like, I mean, if it's structurally sound, like I said earlier in the video, then it's going to be perfectly fine. How do you know if it's structurally sound? Well, I mean, you can kind of tell based on the types of cracks. If it's just some really bad spalling or scaling that these people have lived with for 20 some odd years, and it's not really cracked up, the concrete's just kind of deteriorating from freeze and thaw, then that's probably structurally sound. When I see a lot of settling, you know, 1.5 inch, 2 inch settling on edges, and then these big huge cracks in the middle, then you know you've got other issues going on that you got to fix before you re-pour new concrete over it. So this case wasn't necessarily unique. It's just that this concrete floor wasn't very old. It was only like 2 years old, I think. It's just that you saw the driveway, it slopes right to the garage. And initially, whoever set these grades initially, I mean, they got the height of the foundation, the garage walls, they got the height of them okay. As you can see, we're pouring 9 inches of concrete in the back, and there's still 4 inches of concrete wall showing, which is fine. So the concrete wall was fine. It's just whoever initially set the grade, the sub-base grade of this garage floor before the concrete floor was poured, got that messed up. So the sub base, you know, the sub base basically should have been 4 inches below the grade that we're pouring at right now. And then if originally the concrete floor would have been poured at this height, everything would have been fine. The driveway would have been higher. It would have had, you know, you would have had more room to put a swale in the driveway after they tarred it. That paver walkway is basically new, so that wouldn't have been put in that low. That would have been higher. And all this water problem would have gone away if it was just done right the first time. So I don't know what the issue was. Like, we're just hired here as a sub to fix this right here, and that's basically it. Now, we can pour, you can pour multiple different types of thicknesses over this. You might say that we're pouring 9 inches of concrete in the back and 7 in the front, so we can get a slope on this. The original concrete floor had about I checked it. It did have a little bit of slope, but it was only like about a 1/2 inch slope from back to front, so it wasn't perfectly flat, but it was pretty close to flat. And there wasn't really any scaling or pitting, or the original concrete floor looked pretty good, other than right outside the garage doors where the tip downs were outside the garage doors. It looked like water would just puddle there, and you'll kind of see that at the end of the video. And I have a really good explanation of how I do these concrete floors, when I bond them to the original concrete and when I don't. At the end of the video I have an explanation about that. But the only real damage to the original floor was outside the garage doors on that part that stays outside. It looked like water would build up there and just puddle and then freeze. So there was some freeze thaw damage on about the 7 or 8 inches of concrete that sat outside the doors. But we're using our regular floor mix here with the water reducer in it. If you're wondering why that concrete looks a little loose, it's because the water reducer we use allows for us to pour a pretty high slump concrete with a really low water cement ratio. And for you guys that comment about the concrete being wet, well, it looks wet, but it's not. There's not much water in there. It's mostly done with a chemical. It's probably actually stronger than the concrete that most people pour that don't use water reducers. That they might pour a 5-inch slump or a 6-inch slump. This stuff's even stronger than that with a lower water cement ratio. Now this development, this housing development, there's all kinds of houses in here, is actually right at a golf course too. It's a pretty nice place. And there's a bunch of houses on this same stretch of road right here, but I mean, I don't know why. Like, why wouldn't the people doing the grades have looked at some of these other houses and said, hey, let's look at what they did, see if they're having problems. If they're not having problems, then let's do what they did. They're not having any problems, like the house next door. It still slopes toward their garage, but do they have the same water issues as these people are having? So you can see we used 2x10s on the front. We weren't quite to the top of them, and the paving in here was just like the sub base of paving. So it wasn't at least it wasn't the finished paved product. And you can see water over there to the right. It's building up right there, and that's just because the concrete truck is washing down pretty close by. But that gives you any indication of what a rainstorm, a really hard rain thunder shower might look like. You can see the type of problems these guys were having. So let me know down in the comments if you got any questions about pouring concrete over concrete. I got multiple other videos like this you could check out here on my YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to learn about concrete, click on the link below for the Concrete Underground. I can teach you how to do concrete like we do. And anyway, I'm going to explain right here in a minute just my rule of thumb for what you got to do to bond the concrete when you're pouring over itself and when you don't. Alright, so if you're wondering if you can pour concrete over concrete, you can, as long as whatever's under the existing concrete isn't bad, like the subgrade isn't settling, it's not heaving. If everything's structurally sound, then it's perfectly fine. In this case, the grade was way too low. Somebody who initially, you see the driveway sloped way down from the road right into the garage, and they were having problems with flooding. So raising the grade of the garage 8 inches is going to solve a big problem for these people. They'll repave the driveway, they'll reset, this is all on the builder. They'll reset the paved walkway they did, then they should be fine after that. So my rule of thumb is when you're pouring concrete over concrete, if you're 3 inches or more, you don't have to bond it. You can just pour it just like a regular concrete floor. So that's why we put the plastic down. We want to keep these two floors from bonding to each other so they both move independently. Anything less than 3 inches, I like to put down a bonding agent, clean the concrete, put down a bonding agent, and then pour the new concrete floor right over the bonding agent, no poly. So I'll bond any concrete that's 3 inches or less. We've gone down to 1.5 inches. just using a pea stone mix with 4,000 psi in fiber mesh. We still got to saw a lot of joints in it because that's going to want to shrink a lot. But 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, we'll use a pea stone mix. This was a regular 3,500 psi, 3/4, water reducer in it, fiber mesh in it, so had a half air in it. So that's how you pour concrete over concrete, guys. Any questions, just leave them down in the comments. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.